So today I'll be continuing with my scheduled discussion and point spread prediction videos. Today I'll be doing Utah. So Utah's a team that should be much better this year mm, with Cameron Rising coming back at quarterback, and hopefully they won't have near as many uh, other injuries this year. Uh, the only thing with them is will Cameron Rising still be the same player that he was before he got hurt, coming back from such a bad injury and also not playing for a whole year? Uh, if he is, mm, they're going to be really good. And even if he isn't quite as good as he was before, they should be much improved at the quarterback position than where they were at last year. Their quarterback situation last year was a mess. Mm, And Kyle Whittingham always seems to do a good job with the defense, so I'd expect them to be good on that side of the ball again. And he always does well, it seems like, with the offensive line, so they should be pretty good there. Uh, and of course, I'm not doing predictions right now. I won't do those until at least May. But uh, if I was doing predictions right now, Utah would be my pick to win the Big 12 conference this year. Uh, mm, uh, so, mm, taking a look at this schedule, uh, they mm, uh, open the season on a Thursday. Uh, and a game that'll be an easy win uh, against Southern Utah. Mm, And then in the non-conference, they've got another uh, easy win at Utah State, and then something that from looking at this schedule is probably going to confuse you. I'm going to explain. So you can see on here that Utah has 10 teams on their schedule from the Big 12 conference, which is the conference they're now in, not nine. Uh, mm, but Baylor, even though they're in the same conference now as Utah, is going to be called a non-conference game for them because that game was already scheduled to be played before Utah announced that they were leaving the Pac-12 to go to the Big 12. So it's strange, but Baylor will be a non-conference game. It won't count for uh, their conference record. Mm, and mm, uh, it looks like their toughest game on the schedule will be uh, September 21st. Their first real conference game on the road at Oklahoma State. Uh, they look like the team right now that would have the best chance to stop Utah from winning the conference uh, this year. And Oklahoma State is a pretty tough place to play. Uh, that should be a good game and a big one for the conference. Could be the first of two meetings between the two teams. And then, of course, I guess I should say that Colorado will be their toughest game because you know how great they are. Uh, they have no chance going against Coach Prime and his uh, quarterback that's going to win the Heisman and throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdown passes and uh, turn out to be even better than Joe Burrow was at LSU and be even better in the pro than Patrick Mahomes is for the Chiefs. And uh, so you might as well just put an L on that one. I'm just kidding. Uh, this is just a joke. Mm, just that's what you would think if you didn't know any better from seeing all this stuff about Colorado. But uh, Utah's not losing to Colorado this year. It's one that you could pretty much put a W on right now. Mm, Colorado's going to be terrible again. Uh, and then Arizona uh, is a game that could be pretty tough for Utah, but they'll have a really good chance of playing at home. Uh, and then uh, TCU, if they're a lot better, uh, uh, they mm, could be a kind of a challenge for Utah this year, but especially at home, it's one right now you would expect Utah to be able to win. Mm, And then Iowa State, they may be decent, but still, uh, mm, Utah should be the better team in that one. And it's going to be played at Utah. Uh, mm, and mm, they do have a Friday road game at the end there, but the good news is it's Central Florida, which isn't a very tough place to play, so it should be one that Utah can handle. Uh, mm, and now I'll move on to the prediction. Uh, mm, if you haven't seen how I do my point spreads, you can go back and watch the Ohio State video of these, and I explain it. But the games in the green are games where I think Utah will be favored to win by a blowout, 20 or more points. Mm, and there are two of those. Uh, Southern Utah and Utah State. And then the games in the blue are games where I think they'll be favored to win by 10 to 19 points. So not a close spread, but not a blowout spread. And I see one of those, Arizona State. Uh, mm, and then the games in the purple are the games where I think they'll be favored to win by about a touchdown, 6 to 9 points, and that's over half their schedule. 7 games: Baylor, TCU, Houston, BYU, Colorado, Iowa State, and Central Florida. Mm, And uh, the games in the pink are the games where I think they'll be favored to win by about a field goal, 1 to 5 points, and I see one of those, uh, Arizona. Uh, mm, and then the games in the gray are games where I think that they'll be about a field goal underdog again, so 1 to 5 points. I see one of those, Oklahoma State. Uh, mm, so Southern Utah, they'll be favored in that one by 40 something points probably. They'll destroy them no problem. And then Utah State, it might be more like 30 points, but they should have no problem in that one. Uh, mm, then Arizona State, uh, they'll be favored, I would think, by at least 2 touchdowns in that one. Uh, there's a good chance it could be more than that. Uh, and then Baylor, uh, right now, I'd say uh, they would be favored to win by at least 7, uh, mm, maybe 8 or 9, but probably no more than that right now. Uh, mm, and then TCU, they should be favored by about 7 in that one. Uh, mm, then Houston, uh, that would probably be mm, in the blue if it was a home game for Utah, but I put it in the purple because it's on the road. They'd probably be an 8 or 9 point favorite in that one. Uh, mm, and then BYU, uh, they'd probably be an 8 or 9 point favorite in that one too. And then Colorado, it's just in the purple because it's a road game for Utah. If it was a Mm, at Utah, I think they'd be favored by more than 10, but on the road it may be more like 8 or 9. Uh, mm, then Iowa State, Utah would probably only be favored in that one by about 6 points. Mm, and Central Florida, mm, they should be favored uh, by mm, about 7 in that one, I would say. uh, and mm, really, uh, Arizona State and Colorado, uh, those are two of the worst teams on uh, the whole country. Uh, mm, and it wouldn't shock me if Utah beat those two teams by 100 points combined. Uh, but mm, right now, uh, I'll say that the spreads won't be that high. Mm, mm, and mm, that will be about it with this video. Mm, And mm, wait a minute. Mm, so there's a few more games to do. Uh, so uh, Arizona, mm, I think that uh, they would be about a 3 point favorite in that one because not just that it's at Utah, but I think they'll be a little bit better of a team than Arizona. Mm, and mm, Oklahoma State. Uh, I think they would just be an underdog in uh, that one because it's a road game. Probably just a point or two, though. Uh, so that will be all. Uh, mm, and thanks for watching another video. And please subscribe, and I'll make another one in a couple of days.